Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I wanted to follow up on the last live that I did because I talked about this hummingbird and that just kept going. Just briefly, I had on Tuesday, I'd written a newsletter and I had put the example of when I think that the universe is communicating with me, when it really feels like I'm in a communication with the universe and an example that popped into my mind was when a hummingbird comes and kind of flies around me. It really makes me take notice and feel like something bigger is happening. I wasn't really sure where that example came from because as I'm writing it, I'm like, I this has happened, but it happened a few times last year, but it hadn't happened this year. And so it was kind of interesting that that idea came to me because it wasn't that current, but it definitely was something that does kind of make me take notice. So I write that sentence, and about two sentences later, a hummingbird shows up outside the window and is just hovering there for a few seconds and then runs and then flies off. And that really caught my attention because I had been thinking about how I haven't really seen, I think I've seen one hummingbird this whole year, and it was at my friend's house. So to let you know, like, what happened after this, where this kind of just kept going, and every time it felt like the universe was coming back and continuing to, like, give me a little nudge. I'm talking to my friend Michael Massey, who listeners of the Meditation Conversation podcast will know Michael. We've got a billion episodes out there with Michael. He's my friend and has been a spiritual mentor of mine. We hadn't talked in a couple of weeks and we're just catching up, and he's telling me about this amazing God experience that he'd had a couple of days before, which was just incredible. And there's a little lull in the conversation. So I say, "Oh, I had an interesting thing happen today." And I tell him the hummingbird story. And while I'm telling him, he says, "Oh my God, there's a hummingbird above my head right now." And it came and went, but it was right when I said, "Right now? You've just had a hummingbird?" He said, "Yes, right when you were telling me that story, a hummingbird showed up, was hovering above my head and flew off." So I was like, "Oh my gosh, that really grabbed my attention." So then a couple of hours after that, this is all still in the same day, still on Tuesday. I'm texting with a friend of mine, and we're texting about grounding or something, not about hummingbirds. She didn't even mention that she'd read the newsletter. And she texts, "Oh my gosh, what is happening? A hummingbird just showed up. And I was just thinking about your newsletter. And so I said a little prayer of show me a hummingbird. And one literally showed up like within a minute. And this friend was about to have surgery the next day. So she was, really in a place of contemplation, just kind of preparing for that. And she shared with me that she has always felt that when she sees a hummingbird, it's a sign from her mom who has passed away. And so she felt that that was her mom coming in and kind of letting her know that she's with her as she goes through this important challenge. But she's like, "But I literally just thought about your newsletter, just put that prayer out there, and then a hummingbird showed up." And so and it was while we were texting. So that was really wild. And again, all in the same day. So then the next day, I meet a friend for coffee. And I just happened to say, I didn't say anything about the newsletter. She does read the newsletters, but I said, "Have any hummingbirds showed up?" Because I was going to tell her about these other two, like these synchronicities. And she said, "Actually, I read your newsletter yesterday and it was such strange timing because just that morning, I had been in my garage and I'd seen my hummingbird feeders. And I thought, oh, what a shame that I never put these out this year because I haven't really seen any hummingbirds and I really enjoy seeing them." And right then, a hummingbird showed up. And this was before I sent the newsletter out, but it was the same day. So it might have actually been the same sort of time that I was seeing my hummingbird and that I was writing my newsletter. So, because she said it was in the morning. So many things going on, and I haven't looked into the spirit totem of the hummingbird, which I do need to do. because it'll be interesting to see, like, when hummingbirds show up, what is this a symbol of? But even beyond that, just the fact that so many people are experiencing that common thread, seeing that common pattern, is poignant and has my attention. So, again, be on the lookout for hummingbirds. It keeps going, it seems. So, the other thing that I wanted to share in this time is to encourage you to go outside. And when you're outside, really notice the light. So, when we're outside, we have this opportunity to engage with the natural light. Many people are spending so much time looking at screens, and there is a certain wavelength of light that we take in when we're looking at screens. And when we go outside, we are engaging with natural light. It's just a different wavelength, it's a different frequency. The other thing that we're doing when we're outside is we have the ability to see different depths. So if you imagine that you're constantly looking at your phone, or the great majority of your day you're looking at your phone or your laptop, you are continuously engaging with a certain depth, and your eyes get used to that depth. When you're out walking around and you're out in the open space, you have an opportunity to engage with different depths. And this is like strength training. Imagine it as training for your eyes, not only your physical eyes, but it is that. It is really healthy for your eyes to focus in at different depths. Um, just like when you go to the gym, you don't go on just one weight machine, you go on different ones to exercise different parts of the muscle. Um, but you push yourself to look out in the distance and focus on the details of a tree that's far away from you. It helps to sharpen your physical vision, and it helps to make connections within your brain. Again, it's exercise. Um, but you may find, if you start to pay attention, that you are just very naturally looking at a distance that's comfortable for you, so that if you're noticing what's around you, you may be looking at the ground, you may be looking at nearby objects, houses or trees or cars or whatever it is. Really push yourself to look out at things in the distance. Also, when you're outside, uh, notice that you're absorbing the sunlight through your eyes. Your eyes are taking in these photonic units of light that are coming from our sun. This is really important. That affects your pineal gland. It affects everything within your body. You also absorb this light through your skin. So just notice this. Notice the different quality of light. And I feel that it helps to amplify it when when you bring your attention to it. So if you notice, wow, I'm taking in light, I'm taking in natural light through my eyes, it just amplifies it, just does that. Um, Also, light versus shade. So I like to go into a wooded area a lot of times when I take my walks, and there's a lot of green in that area because I'm with trees. That is that natural green has a certain wavelength. It's associated with the heart. It's associated with the love frequency. It's all interconnected. So when I'm not only in the environment of the trees, but I am feeling that I'm absorbing it as much as I can. And there's a giving as well. You know, it's an inflow and an outflow, an appreciation and a gratitude for being in that environment and for their light, for them giving me that wavelength. Um, Light and shadow, kind of moving your awareness from, okay, I'm looking at the sunlight coming through the trees, and that is one type of visual. Now I'm looking in the shadows and I'm trying to see the detail in the shadows. Again, these are exercises for the eyes. Your eyes have to change their focus. It's just really, really healthy for you to change your focus and play with the light. And you just, there is so much that you get from being outside. These are just a few of the layers of depth that you get from engaging with the natural world. You're a human who has evolved, your body has evolved in step with nature. And the more disconnected we are from it, the more opportunities that we are missing. There's so much for our health and well being, our body, mind, and soul alignment when we are engaging with the natural world. So, I think that's a good stopping point for now. That's a lot of information in a short time, but I wish you many, many blessings. Thank you for watching this, and I will see you next time.